funnel people into this area, and they got just that. Thousands of fans made their way to this area after leaving the bars across from the garden, in the garden area. A lot of these people, according to police, made their way over from the Quincy Market area. This also happens to be where a lot of glass bottles were flying around, something that police weren't necessarily expecting to see so quickly tonight, which is why a lot of them who were not wearing riot gear earlier are wearing it now. A lot of the people, the fans, in some cases at least 50 of them who were standing up on top of the North Station buildings across from the garden have come down. It was a little bit difficult to see off in the distance how they got down, probably the same way they got up, by climbing on people's shoulders. But you might be able to tell there are some police and riot gear on top of those buildings at this point, so there's no one getting back up there. The police have since set up ladders for themselves to get back down. This is also the area where the bus, transit police bus, they were going to start tipping that bus earlier. You're about to see some the police and riot gear start crossing by our camera, which is actually a good sign that they're able to walk away from this area. It shows that things are starting to calm down out here. The superintendent said there was at least one arrest here. No serious injuries, although we did see some person, in fact it was the person who was being arrested with some blood on his forehead. Didn't look like anything major, which is somewhat of a surprise that there weren't more injuries because of all the fireworks that were going on off and all the glass bottles as well. So that was a good sign overall. You know, it's a mix. You've got your rowdy fans and some people who just wanted to be a part of the action, and as is always the case, it's the rowdy ones that get all the attention. They're the noisiest and by far the most dangerous, when police had to go in there and remove some of them.
I've got to say, Sean, from this vantage point, and we're looking also from Sky 5, it looks to me, and we saw quite a few rowdy fans taunting the officers on their motorcycles as they went by. It looks to me, at least in this case, as if the officers are showing a lot of restraint.
Absolutely, and the police are behind a barrier. And you know, when you talk to these police officers, they fully expect that some of these kids are going to get in their face and cheer and try to kind of test the boundaries, and the police just stand there, there's no smile on their face, they're not thrilled about it, but they're also not going to make a move toward them. And, you know, I asked them, I said, at what point do you start kicking these kids out of here and force them home? And they said they're not going to, because this was an area they fully expected for people to come and cheer and celebrate. They knew there would be some level of rowdiness, but the police said that if they have to stay here all night, they will. They used the term inviting people to leave the area. They're not forcing anyone to leave, but they are inviting certain people to leave, and you can read between the lines on that one.
So it looks like we're seeing some young man here being taken away, perhaps in handcuffs by police from the area around the garden. Let's go up now to Live Sky 5 and Susan Warnick, who has a different vantage point, looking from the skies above to down below. And Susan, we can certainly see the shot that you have right now, and it looks like we just saw a huge police motorcade go by.
It's absolutely right. You know, the Boston police have been telling us for days that they have their security plans in place. They never say too much about what those plans are for obvious reasons. But tonight we have seen clearly how they decided to show the public that they were watching and in charge. We've seen probably two